Hey y'all, it's Krypton Critics. I'm here to review the 1982 film Last Unicorn. Now, I can already hear some people watching it like, "Oh, look at you, Eric! Just a little faggot, watching, girly princess, unicorn movie." Shut up, because this is a very entertaining film. It's not overly sappy. There are sappy moments. There are bits where it is a bit kiddie, but there is some like flair. There is some gravitas to a lot of the animation. It's done pretty much all with cell, so it has the very old school Disney look. Right out the back, it's almost every shot is beautiful. That's one thing you cannot take away from this movie. That is not technical achievement. It is not well developed and well thought out. This takes days upon days to animate these cells. I can only imagine how long this film actually took to make. But that being said, there's a lot of moments where the faces don't look quite right. They look a little off. They especially do that with side characters, or they limit to the movement of the background because they don't want to like animate that as well. That takes extra time. I can understand that. Moving on. The sound design is near perfect. Everything sounds like it should. In case we get a laser, I don't know how the fuck that's supposed to sound. Magic lasers. It just happens in this film. The Last Unicorn is a literal unicorn, voiced by Mia Farrow. There is a antagonist king named King Haggard. He's voiced by Christopher Lee. Rest in peace. We have his son, who is the Prince Lear, played by Jeff Bridges. Long before, he played what was it, Ironmonger, and long before he played the Dude, he played Prince Lear. So he's nowhere near in developing, his, very marbly cowboy voice before all that. There's character Schmendrick, who's played by Alan Arnick. We have Mommy Fortuna, played by Angela Lansbury, and we have the Butterfly, played by Robert Klein. Now, of all these characters, the one that I enjoyed watching them most, not necessarily because of the story, but just based off the voice talent and the like real feeling you get from like seeing the character on screen, and that's the villain. That's King Haggard. Christopher Lee is awesome actor, especially when it comes to playing villains. He played a villain in the Hobbit / Lord of the Rings series. Saruman. He played Count Dooku. Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones and Render Sith. Even in like movies that are not so good, I can say that he did well in them. And this is no exception. All of his lines has a lot of bass and gravel, and it makes for an powerful villain. But his story is not the greatest. The story written for him. Now, I know the story of this film is adaptation of the book The Last Unicorn. I don't know how many parallels there are with the characters. How similar, or they went into their own tangent. Now, the Last Unicorn is this white furred unicorn with like purple eyes, and she's very in tune with her woodland creatures and forest, and for some reason she leaves, and she finds out that regular people don't see her unicorn horn and just assume that she's a regular mare. she ends up being stolen by this witch, Mummy Fortuna, who, she's amazingly witchy. She has like twigs coming out of her hair, and she's like really hunched over and has boils and bumps everywhere. Her design is like so creative. I can give the film definitely that. She bumps into Schmendrick, who is like a wizard in training. He calls himself a magician. He helps out the last unicorn, protects her from this monster called the Red Bull, not the drink. It's just like this spirit that just runs into animals. I guess he kills them or takes their souls. I don't fucking know, but he does. He is intimidating for the characters that he encounters. Schmendrick accidentally turns, the last unicorn into a lady, actual human, and she's kept safe at a castle run by King Haggard. He senses something fishy. She starts to fall for Prince Lear, his son. That relationship, even with all the Disney X singing that's in this movie, and there's a ton of it, a lot of it seems expositional or it's just describing the scene. Sometimes it's like a little too literal. Sometimes it just feels a bit corny. I mean, kids should enjoy it, but to me, it didn't always work all the time, or even most of the time. Not saying it's necessarily a bad feature. It's not my cup of tea. But the relationship they develop, it doesn't seem real or like tangible. I didn't feel for the relationship. I mean, Prince Lear was a decent character, I guess. He was trying to be Prince Charming, fight the dragon, be there for the princess, and in the beginning, Last Unicorn, who as a human, her name is Amathea. She wants to turn back into a unicorn, that she falls for this guy, and she's like, "Oh, I only want to be with you," but she has this conflict if she wants to be a unicorn again or she wants to be human with him forever. Spoilers: they don't end up together. We find out that King Haggard is, he's just a complete asshole to fucking unicorns. He tried to genocide all of them away with the Red Bull, I guess, that he controls, and he tried pushing them into water to make them drown, but then they come out of the white caps of the crashing water on the shore of this castle, and they just wreck shit. They just hooves are everywhere, just trampling shit. The whole castle falls down. Like, what the hell? God, Jesus! I didn't know that these unicorns could float. I mean, I know they have like a magical horn or whatever, but we didn't see that from the main unicorn. The quote unquote last unicorn. Another thing that I thought was weird is that her unicorn can't be seen by regular people, and she's taken to be captured with other creatures. The only ones that are mythical, this is when she was being taken by Mommy Fortuna, the witch. The only two creatures are, mythical are her and a harpy. The other ones are just animals, but she puts, uses magic to make them look like mythical creatures. Wouldn't it make more sense to find mythical creatures and just undo the spell that makes regular people not be able to see them than getting a mix of the two. I'm just kind of lost here. Like, if you want no chance of someone like figuring out that you're a fraud, have mythical creatures or have them summoned to you. I'm not really sure how magic really works in this world. I mean, I know it's a kids movie and all, but just a lot of times, it seems like something would happen to, make the film longer, or either to make, a quick plot recap, something that will get it into the next act. One character that I enjoyed for some weird reason was like this alcoholic skeleton. Like, he just constantly wants wine, even though there's none that be have. I don't know, but he just made me laugh. I wasn't a fan of the butterfly. I didn't dislike him necessarily. I was not feeling him. It kind of seemed like he had ADHD. You just like pop to the next subject while he's talking to the same person. Like, she's like, oh, maybe I'm going to go out here and maybe I need to follow my destiny. And he just bouncing ball with conversation. I don't know what's up with him. He had a weird white beard. That's a weird design for a butterfly, if you ask me. I think he kind of like wore aviator, goggles, because why not? I liked a lot of the details in the artwork, especially inside buildings. That is commendable just from the artistry itself. I'm still not how sure to feel about the fact that Prince Lear, Jeff Bridges' character, starts to fall in love with a unicorn. I mean, she doesn't look like a unicorn, but she is, and he kisses a unicorn, right? I mean, if she is a human but she actually is a unicorn, and she only half in that case. So he kissed the unicorn, and I can only imagine kids that saw this, and it helped spawn like a fetish for horses or whatever, unicorns. Yeah, that's what I need to talk about in reviewing a kids movie. It's fucking bestiality. But overall, this movie has a lot of fun moments. There are a lot of moments that just seem weird, or I feel like they could have been fleshed out more. Really had more connections with the characters, because in the beginning I felt bad for how weak and practically useless most of the powers, or how impractical some of the powers were of Schmendrick. But then he kind of got the hold of it, and then it was just he was all over the place for me watching the film. But I think the things to come for in this movie, if you're not just a little kid that just wants a cartoon, or a kid at heart that just wants a cartoon, whatever, you're gonna come back for King Haggard. You might get a laugh at Jeff Bridges as a prince, and you'll definitely enjoy the artistry behind it. It has somewhat of a similar feel to the Lord of the Rings cartoons. I can't remember when they were made, but I'm blanking on the creator. But it is a fun movie, and I'll give it a B minus. It teeters on just but I love the artwork. There are some funny moments, and I do like the villain, even though his motivation isn't the strongest. I suggest go seeing it. It's old school film. Well, not that old school, but it's still very enjoyable. Kids will love it. It's by the Krypton Critics. You know I love it.